Okay. And I think we're going to move on to another nice long one. And that we're going to just be with for a few weeks. Will's back. That's the guy with the pedo mustache who gets really freaked out about Muppet babies. Understanding leftist language and woke Lord of the Rings. Okay, I think we have a winner here. Let me know the...
Why?
Guys, hi.
Actually, let me see. How does this look? Actually, that's not bad.
Everybody, it is Amla of Will and Amla Live. Unfortunately, I have some not good news to start out the show today, so we're not going to do a skit, which I know you guys are used to, so I...
Oh, well, I think the not so good news was that Will was back. It says so right in the title that it's already taken care of.
Apologize in advance. But we got note that Will is not going to be returning to the show. So, it's actually now going to be Taylor and Amla Live, which is kind of...
Oh. Okay. That sounds like good news. Who the fuck is Taylor?
weird.
Woohoo! It's my big break. Guys, I'm just want to thank everyone who has helped me get to this place today. I never thought Will
The
was that...
place of the co-host not coming back, so he just sort of gets it by default.
great anyways, and thought I could do a better job. So
Yeah.
This was just a long time coming. And, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be talking on Taylor and Amala Live.
Taylor's taking this really well. I mean, we're not going to get into why Will's not going to be returning on the show because it's just
he
like
sucks?
it's I don't know. It's not probably
That wouldn't stop somebody being on PragerU. That's kind of a prerequisite. Maybe he watched his own videos and is reconsidering his life choices now.
something we shouldn't really talk about. But
May he rest in peace. Pieces.
now I guess we can roast him whenever we want because he's not coming back. No, I think he saw a little bit too much of Florida, honestly, while on his book tour, and that might have influenced him a little bit. I went to Cal State Fullerton, and all these girls were telling me about how influenced Will was by...
Oh, gosh. What?
Hey, sorry I'm late, guys.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, hi.
Damn.
How did you get in here? I thought we took away your key for the building.
No, I'm back.
could've
Taylor,
swore.
if you want to head out, I think, and Amla, maybe you want to head out
that's
too.
I could have swore I
I
changed
think
the
Will
door
Wit
code.
Live is back, baby. After a month on the road, guess who's back, baby? Will Wit, here in the flesh. No mustache, ready to start just absolutely tearing this show up again.
I wonder what children's puppet show he's going to get claim is sexualizing this time. He likes to pretend to be outraged by it.
Did you like that?
I did like that sound.
What did you
didn't
do?
hear it. He
Oh,
played
sorry.
the...
Oh, you don't have everything. I played the sad trombone sound while you were talking.
Well, even those sounds won't get me down because I am ecstatic to be back with everyone here today. I have been famished.
Not many people
of
would be
these
able to say that.
conversations.
Famished of these conversations.
Yes, I've been hungry for them. My stomach has been rumbling to talk to you two again. I am very happy to be back. I hope.
Well, I didn't know what his stomach has to do with it, because the whole point of the stomach's involvement is it's the first step in turning whatever it is into shit. And these conversations just start out that
You guys,
way.
viewers, are happy to have me back as well. I'm happy to be back and influence and talk to you guys. It's been a long time. It's been a whole month, basically. And now,
Not
the boys
long enough.
back, ready to take the show to the stratosphere. Okay? Ready to
That's
save
good, there's
this
no
dying
oxygen
show
there.
from
Well,
no.
there's limited
shambles
oxygen
that it
there.
was in.
Oh, yeah. It was just dying while you were away, Will. I simply couldn't handle it.
No, I really think that I saw some of the episodes when I was gone. I think you guys did a fantastic job.
Thank
you guys
you,
did a
Will.
really good job.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, even without me.
Yeah.
So it goes to show, one, that you guys can do the show without me.
Oh, was that ever in question, or?
I
Okay.
questioned it. All
We're
right,
gonna skip.
first story we're going to talk about, which is one that now that I'm back, we can
The
talk
new-
about this because I'm incredibly passionate about it.
The new woke Lord of the Rings. Okay, what? I'd love to find out what makes it a woke Lord of the Rings by their standards.
Is not so passionate, but I know Taylor will
We
be as well.
specifically waited until you were back to cover this. It came out a couple days ago. But
Well, I did a whole rant about it on my Instagram. So here's the
Alma's
tweet.
been looking forward to this all week, by the way.
Oh, that's why.
She's texted me every
He's
day
moved
Look at his
on.
face.
anticipating this.
Doesn't it look so excited?
It does. It does.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad you're excited.
Always.
That's what I'm here for, to make you excited.
Yeah.
Okay. From Disclosed TV, new. Amazon's upcoming Lord of the Rings TV show will be multicultural. Black, Asian, brown, and even Maori type hobbits.
Yeah, Maori, for fuck's sake. And so, okay, so it's woke if they don't just hire white people exclusively. That's the standard for being woke, apparently. Acting as if the Civil Rights Act exists, essentially.
Diverse and feature strong female characters, according to media reports.
Oh God, that's
What do you think about this,
terrible.
Alma?
What a fucking
before I go
nightmare.
off.
Yeah, I'm gonna give my small little bit of 2 cents. I know nothing about Lord of the Rings,
Well, that hasn't stopped you from talking about other things, so go on.
but obviously this is not cool. People are just doing this for woke virtue signaling. It's just doing diversity for the sake of diversity, and I'm assuming you're going to inform me about why this is wrong for Lord of the Rings specifically.
Yes, why is it wrong to have hobbits of different ethnic groups? Why exactly is it wrong? Since you're shooting in New Zealand and a significant segment of the population there is Maori, not to actually hire some Maori actors there for one of the biggest cash cows that the New Zealand film industry has. Tell me why that's wrong.
Specifically, because I don't know anything.
Guys, this is the end of the world. Okay? This is the worst thing ever. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to TV. Because Lord of the Rings and Tolkien's universe and the things that he has created, in my opinion, are the greatest works of fiction ever created in Britain, okay? They are Great Britain's best works ever. Because what is the Lord of the Rings, okay? The Lord of the Rings is people overcoming evil through insurmountable odds, the worst struggles, horrible things happening to them. No one expects that they will succeed, and they overcome it.
Okay, and not having that only be white people is bad. Why?
That is what the Lord of the Rings is, okay? So now they're saying they want to make it multicultural and feature strong female characters, okay? If you read the lore, there's already multicultures. You have multiculture with dwarves, men, Maiar, the Valar, elves, all these different people, okay?
And is there anything that says that they have to be all white?
It's already multicultural because all these cultures represent different types of people. And it already has strong female characters like Éowyn when she defeats the Witch King. And all sorts of other female characters in the Silmarillion too, like Luthien, who puts Melkor to sleep in the Great Hall so that Baron...
So you're saying that this is a thing that is part of what makes it... The existence of strong female characters is a good thing, apparently. So why is it a bad thing now?
and can steal Silmarils off his head. Okay, I'm going very nerdy,
Right,
with you guys,
Amala?
but I'm telling you guys, this
Right.
is
The
already true.
The Silmaril's off his head.
But here's the important part, okay? Here's what really matters, because you can use this for any of these things that the left is doing, whether it's this, whether it's gay Superman, whatever it is. We already have these.
What the left is making the new Lord of the Rings? When? Why? When? Which plenary assembly was this brought up at? I was not involved. I would have been very interested. Comrades, what the fuck are you doing? Not letting me in on this.
Stories established in America and in the West, okay? Lord of the Rings, it's been around for a long time. It is already established. Superman, been around for decades. Dean Cain did it back in the day. It's been around for a long time, right? So why now do you have to take an already pre-existing story and then ruin it with this multicultural cast and make people gay and black? It's like, I obviously don't care if an elf is black. I mean,
Well, except you've just said that making an elf black ruins it. So, it seems like you kind of care.
it means nothing to me if an elf is black. What matters is that you are sacrificing the story, the things that actually matter within the context of the characters, to make them into a woke diversity type of deal.
Okay, so what part of the story requires the elves to be white? Yeah,
That is why it is a horrible thing. Not because someone is black. Again, who cares if they're black? That doesn't matter.
Well,
What
you
matters is that
you
you are
do.
ruining what it's actually all about.
So, Will, are you going to be watching this show? And
I am
Taylor,
going to watch
are you
it.
going to watch it?
I am going to watch it because this is Lord of the Rings is incredibly special to me. It's one of my great passions in life is Middle Earth, and
Okay, if it's ruining what it's all about, then what it's all about is whiteness, apparently. It's interesting, he says all this, and this is... I've seen versions of this so many times, like fucking the coordinating, the guy who gets freaked out when women characters in children's cartoons have smaller breasts. Does the same thing, and he'll say, "Oh yeah, this is totally ruining it," but he won't tell you why. It's like, oh, I don't care if they have black elves, but it's totally ruining everything that the whole story is all about. Well, then, what's it ruining? And what's interesting, I mean, Amala clearly also knows that that's not a question to ask. I mean, it's such an obvious question. You'd say, like, well, because she already said she doesn't know anything about Lord of the Rings, really. Well, then wouldn't you just ask, okay, what is it? What's all about? What's Lord of the Rings all about that it is ruined by the presence of a black character?
everything that Tolkien has done. Seriously, it has changed my life. I've told people that all the time, and they laugh at me sometimes as like a nerdy guy. But anyone who is as big of a fan of Lord of the Rings as me has read the books like I have, and also all of the other like Untold Tales.
Yeah, I mean, the cultures that they're not even really. It's not even pan-European diversity. It's fucking pan-British. I mean, the elves are Welsh and Cornish. You've got the dwarves are Scottish, and then everybody else is English, and then, well, including the orcs. The orcs are the most English group of characters in the entire universe, really. Yeah, so, I mean, it's so diverse it doesn't even actually get off the island of Britain.
The Silmarillion, all the other books by Tolkien. I'm drawing a little bit of a blank right now. The Hobbit, all of those will understand just how important these are and how life-changing these texts can be, really. And the fact that
Okay, but you still haven't explained why it is that that any of that is ruined by having the characters be black or Maori. I mean, what about it is so life-changing? And if it's so life-changing, well, I mean, maybe it should be life-changing to people who don't look like a set of beige paint chips.
they're going to ruin it. These are legitimately the best fiction texts in the West. Seriously, I stand by that 100% with how influential they are and how much they mean to people and what the story actually represents, good versus evil. It's not some postmodern mess like Game of Thrones where, the rulers suck and everybody's parents are rude to them and there's no right and wrong. It's like there's clear answers in Middle Earth and the Lord.
Oh, yeah, that's very interesting. That he's told us a lot about himself. Because, you see, what he likes is stories where the rulers don't suck. Where there isn't any conflict between the rulers and the people they're ruled over. I've never even watched Game of Thrones. And their parents are rude to them. Yeah, okay. He's told us quite a lot about his vision of society. It's very much, well, actually, kind of very compatible with fascism.
Or the Rings that makes it such a tale that will last throughout the ages. Go create
Yes.
your own fantasy world full of gay elves and black dwarves, okay? I don't care. Go do whatever you want.
You remind me of the Sonic Hedgehog kid.
When will you learn?
When will you learn? Your fantasies will never be quenched.
Wait, but, okay, he still hasn't told us why anything about the story is harmed by having gay elves. I mean, honestly, if you can look at the whole sort of aesthetic of the elves and not already see a certain amount of gayness, I really don't understand you, first of all. And I mean, if What exactly is ruined by having a dwarf be black?
It's like, go make your own fantasy. Why do you have to ruin the one that I already like?
Yeah.
You're ruining the one that I know and I like. Go make your own gay superhero.
And it's funny. I mean, this clarity, this like Manichaean. It's all just very clear, good and evil, and everybody's white, and that is his criterion for like the greatest work of fiction in the English language or whatever. That already says something. I mean, normally you look at the things that often one of the major criteria for a literary work, people talk about it being great or something like that, as opposed to just being just some crap that you can read on the train or something, is that it actually leaves you with questions that you try to answer yourselves. Oh, this is a PragerU dickhead. His name is Will Witt. He used to have a pedo mustache and get freaked out about Muppet babies. He finds them very sexual, apparently. But he went to Florida, and now he gets freaked out about black people being in Lord of the Rings.
Don't ruin Superman. Don't do it just because you want your own vanity to be expunged and exacerbated. Don't ruin.
That's not what expunged and exacerbated? You use these words. I do not think that they mean what you think they mean.
Things that people already like for yourself, for your own wokeness and virtue signaling.
Taylor?
Okay. But isn't that just you sort of saying that it harms your vanity to have the idea that there might be one out of the million different versions of Superman who does not match you in just about every fucking way? Except for being super and being watchable and not wearing his hat turned back like it makes him cool when he's just a douche.
Are you going to be watching this TV show?
I honestly, I don't know. Like, I didn't watch the last Star Wars because I hated what they did with the Star Wars. I literally just won't watch the new ones anymore, the Disney ones, because I think they ruined it. And I would be a lot more open to it if it weren't for headlines like this about how they're gonna put all this woke stuff in it.
Right.
The fact that they're even going in that direction just turns me off so much so that I would.
Okay, Taylor. Will can't explain it to us, so why don't you explain why it ruins everything about Lord of the Rings for black and Maori actors to be cast in it.
Like, we watched the trailer for the new Home Alone movie that's coming out on Disney Plus this year, and I love Home Alone. It's like one of my favorite movies ever, the Home Alone 1 and 2. I will probably watch this one because on its face there's not any like woke stuff in this Home Alone one. Now I could watch it and then I could see that there is, and then I'll hate it and never watch it again, but I have an open mind. This is hard to have an open.
So he's saying, okay, so from the operative definition we've got here, what I'm hearing here is that it has an all white cast.
Mine, and it's like it hurts all the deeper because of what it, like Will's saying, like what it meant to me personally, but also what it really stands for as a work of high culture and high art and fiction that is transcendent. And I think that's, like, as you're saying, Will, like the original Lord of the Rings, there's only one, but
oh, hey, Erica, and thank you. I spent the afternoon on that. It's taken me a while to work out exactly how to get all this shit to work well on OBS. It's a useful piece of software, but it's really, really complicated to get everything to work properly. And so I'm just learning as I go, but yeah, I'm quite happy with it too. God, none of these people have actually, okay, Will Shit has given us at least something. He says that it's the moral simplicity and the authoritarian ideology that he really appreciates that makes it a great literary work. But this guy is just kind of puking out buzzwords, and he still hasn't explained why any of this is made worse by not having an all-white cast.
It really is in a world where it appeals to very like deep truths and deep wisdom about humanity that's embedded in that story, and it appeals to like high values and paints a picture of, you know, just a world where it defines what heroism is, what courage is, what masculinity is, what you know, the battle of good versus evil. It's got a certain moral clarity, and it has a depth.
Okay, so he's just gonna say the same stuff as Will Shit.
That is beyond just what some woke writer can come up with in Hollywood, and it shows. And like the fact that they have to like rewrite Superman, rewrite Lord of the Rings, and put modern culture.
Wait a second, is there anything that actually... I mean, they talk about these things as if they're essential characteristics, that, like, the whiteness of the characters. And it's interesting because they clearly know that they can't be too mask off about this. They have to move away and talk about, like, the fucking literary qualities or whatever. Because, I mean, obviously, if I want to hear literary analysis, I'm gonna go to PragerU. I mean, you can't do better than that. I mean, move over fucking Derrida. But they really are very careful to avoid actually explaining why any of this actually makes it worse.
In it, just as to me demonstrates how bad modern culture sucks. It's like, why does modern art suck? It's because it doesn't have the centuries and millennia of the, you know, learned wisdom through time that is embedded into it and distilled into these powerful stories or visuals. Or
wait, okay, so modern art has no history? That's interesting, because I could have sworn that it did. But okay, but please, we're gonna hear, tell us more about Untitled Kunst. Please, let's hear more about that. That's something Caleb Moffat would actually get on with these guys. Because when he talks about art, he basically says the same sort of shit. And he also likes to use woke as a pejorative,
or whatever it may be. If the world started in 1960 when postmodernists started having ideas about deconstructing things, then that's as deep as your art gets, and it's laced with this ideology, and it's
okay. That's as deep as his fucking historical analysis gets, because you can get fucking hell. You want to know, deconstructing things, and a lot of the things that have been sort of grouped under the descriptor of postmodern are actually so old, so well established, that they're present in both of the works that have been seriously argued to be the first modern novel. Both, if you look at Don Quixote by Cervantes, and you look at La Celestina, both of them are full of this sort of thing. They're all full of sort of the challenging of narratives and the deconstructing of, you know, master narratives and all this sort of stuff, that he's acting like somebody woke up in fucking 1960 and said, okay, I'd like to deconstruct things. And also, modern art didn't start until 1960? Tell that to the fucking Dadaists.
Laced with this utopian vision that you're trying to insert into things, and it lacks that depth and that character and the richness and the beauty that stories like Lord of the Rings have, and you'll never
I mean, modern art, like Picasso didn't exist, for example.
Never get there. And you can try to like paint your postmodern veneer over these transcendent works of art,
doing art before
but
1960s.
It's not going to feel right, and it didn't feel right in Star Wars. It didn't feel right, and it's not going to feel right in Lord of the Rings.
People are
okay, these guys who keep on talking, these guys are like talking all their like deep opinions about art. I have a feeling they have more than one of those ugly ass ape NFTs that they've actually paid money for it. These just look like the exact sort of people who would actually lay down money on that fucking scam.
are so concerned with making statements and upholding ideology that they're making things that are increasingly meaningless. And that's how our art is moving, our media is moving, all of our entertainment is going in that direction. And
okay. I mean, so she's saying that hiring cast members for films who aren't white makes them meaningless?
And you can just tell, watching old movies, reading old books, looking at old art, everything had so much more meaning than it does today. And
What? Okay, so what the fuck is her definition of meaning here? If, you know, if you look at, people have this bizarre idea about the golden age of film or whatever. I'd love to know what she's talking about when she's talking about older movies. I have a feeling she's not talking about Metropolis or Branino Sits Pationkin by Eisenstein or actual old movies. It's like, what is she talking about with it having more meaning? What does any of this actually mean?
it's an unfortunate sort of landscape that we're stepping into right now in our postmodern world.
All art is quite useless. It's from Dorian Gray. Great line. Should read the.
Yeah, Dorian Gray, written by by one of the best known gay authors in the history of the European canon. But I guess, see, this is him bowing to wokeness by citing a gay author.
The preface of Dorian Gray, Change Your Life, about art.
I mean, see, now it's true what he's been saying. Just by citing that one gay guy, all of this entire video that we're watching so respectfully has ceased to mean anything at all. The presence of gays apparently makes things mean less, or something. I don't fucking know.
Two things.
But we're
First, they're talking about Hobbits. If you saw the first promotional image on that Amazon
Hobbits.
put out, 4 Hobbits. If you look at the first promotional image they put out, it looked like in the image there were the trees of Valinor, which is really about like the first age, which there weren't Hobbits. I don't even know why they're about to have Hobbits in this show. Okay, there shouldn't be Hobbits if this is focused on the first and second age of Middle Earth. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Nerding out again, but seriously,
Noted.
this is very true. I don't even know why they're messing around with having Hobbits. Adds nothing to the show. Okay.
Was
Well, maybe they decided it added something to the show.
very upset about this, the inclusion of Hobbits.
How dare
Yeah, I mean, that is Will Shit's entire job on this show, is to freak out about cultural products that it's impossible to see how anyone could possibly get freaked out about them. I mean, his meltdown over Muppet Babies was classic. And this, I mean, where he apparently, like, not having a color bar in your casting requirements suddenly deprives the film of meaning, but he won't explain how. This is what he does, and apparently Florida did not chill him out, even though he does have his hat on backwards, which is a way of telling us that he's a really chilled out dude.
they in the first and second, third generation include Hobbits?
First and second age.
Will Shit
Sorry.
is real.
When will they learn?
When will you learn?
Knucklehead.
Which one?
We should find that video. And play
We
it.
should find
I
that
know,
video.
seriously.
because
That's how I feel.
Oh, I would love them to find that video, because they could get a copyright rip.
It is what Will is experiencing right now.
But it's so personal. Imagine, I don't know what you like, Bratz dolls. Imagine if Bratz dolls went woke.
They, by his definition, they already fucking did.
You know?
I'm offended right now. I'm more offended than I would be if they changed Bratz dolls.
What's
now.
the thing that you would be like most heartbroken over if it went woke that you love?
I would really have to think about that. I don't know. I would
Really?
be pretty
Yeah,
upset if
Do you
Home
not
Alone
like
came out and
anything?
it was like super. Nothing like immediately sparks my mind that, oh my gosh, if they ruin this,
See, that is sad.
I will
That's
always
sad.
have
What if they
that
like
thing.
remade The Notebook or Clueless? Or,
I've never seen The Notebook.
the Notebook sucks.
Are you
I've
even
seen
a girl?
Clueless a couple times.
What if-
I can no longer. Yes, purity of essence. Poe. Our precious bodily fluids.
They remade Legally Blonde.
I've only seen that a couple times.
Legally Blonde actually was, by their standards, well, it's woker than they would like,
too. I don't know.
but that
don't
doesn't
know.
take much.
You don't have anything like that?
Their
Nothing
standards
immediately
are,
comes to
like-
mind that I'm like, if they remade this, like, obviously I've gone through the whole remix and seen that, and I just know they're going to be trash, so it doesn't actually, like, irk me or physically upset me all that much.
You have like no.
This is great. They're sitting here trying to show that this isn't just some sort of weird-ass performative white guy bullshit by finding an example of something that she would freak out like this over, and she is giving them absolutely nothing to work
piece of
with.
art or media that you're like very attached to, that you really
Well,
love.
that's most meaningful to you.
Yeah,
I have to think about it. I don't know.
that's wild.
Come back to
I
me in
can't
like
believe
30
you don't have
minutes. Give me
anything.
like a minute to think about it. I don't know.
You should just have it.
I should just have it?
Shakespeare.
No. I mean, I've read it, but no, it's not like, oh my gosh, if they rewrote this.
Who's like the most transcendently great musician that comes to mind? for
All
you?
the musicians that I like are super woke.
This is okay. She has totally, for all the bullshit that she has been a party to on this bullshit emporium that is PragerU. I have to say, all of it is forgotten right now because she is completely showing these two twats up. They totally desperately need some validation to show that this isn't just their bullshit preoccupation. And she has absolutely nothing. Everything.
So it's like,
If Missy Elliott came out,
first of all, I don't know a single Missy Elliott song other than I put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it. And I don't even know the name of that song. Secondly,
I like Missy Elliott.
that's a
Yeah, so now they're like trying. They've spent so much time listening to her and getting to know her as a person that when they try to think of cultural products that might somehow resonate with her, it's just their list of random things they think all black people like.
I'm again offended by your deduction of what you think I would be interested in.
hey, if Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh. Anyways, guys, the skit in the beginning was really not a skit. Will is not returning to the show. It is now over.
I'm having a lot of fun here.
I can tell you're having a lot of fun here. I don't know. I'll get back to you guys. I'll think of something that is so important to me that I would cry if they made it woke.
That is just really. That is actually upsetting to me.
What?
Yeah, of course it's upsetting to you, and this is on the note on which we're going to pause this video until next week. Because I think we all... I have to just sit there. The most upsetting thing for him, the most sincerely upsetting thing, he looks like really a little bit upset here, is realizing that actually his preoccupation with keeping black people out of movies and TV shows and stories that he likes is not actually a universal preoccupation, even amongst the sort of dickheads who work over at PragerU. It's actually kind of beautiful. And we are 5 minutes to 1, and so we're gradually going to be winding down. But see, Eric, you missed a couple of like last week where I had the most boring fucking video ever. I'm never going to do one of the seminars of the Center for Political Insomniacs again. Caleb Muppet's think tank, the guy who claims to hate think tanks because he calls them movement managers. He's got a think tank. It's the most boring fucking shit ever. And I'm never going to do one of those again because they put me to sleep and they put everybody else to sleep as well. But this is like fucking golden bullshit. This is the goose that laid the golden tart here. I think we're going to have a very good time with this for a few weeks to come. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who's shown up. It's always nice to see you. Glad you like the new layout. I'm quite proud of it myself. I also wanted to do that because in Thought Slime's most recent video, he actually says, apparently, when he stopped doing the, calls to action, the like, subscribe, Patreon thing that he normally was doing, that it actually reduced his metrics, that actually saying those things or mentioning them actually had an effect. So I wanted to have that on there since I've gotten a bunch of negative space anyway. So I'm giving that a go. Thanks for your presence and your participation in this conversation and this journey through chess and bullshit. And I think I'm going to wrap it up. Have a good night. See you next week.